How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are heating up, but these are special kinds of keys. I got a comment, I think a week ago, and someone suggested this, and I'm like, that'll be an interesting video to give my thoughts and analysis on characters that appeared in the Spider-Verse #2. So that's all this is going to be, is just characters in the Spider-Verse movie. So we'll dive right into those. I'll give you my opinion and what's kind of going on with it. And yeah, let's get right into it. All right, first we got Spectacular Spider-Man number 98. This is the first appearance of Spot. He's the villain in the movie. A 9.6 is up 15% from 93 to 108. A 9.8 is up 72% from 203 to 350. Now, if you look at the graph here, you can see kind of it just went up, kind of was all over the place. That was because there's a lot of rumors and things like that. Spot's going to come in, and usually that's when the hype is the strongest. Is usually right on the rumors and stuff like that. And then when the movie comes out, depending on how much someone likes that character or how well the movie does, it could see a little boost. Now, does this mean that it's going to go up forever? I don't see a character like Spot being something that goes up forever. This will just be a temporary thing, but here's the thing. It will be more expensive than it was like 3 years ago, before all the hype and all the everything. But it's not going to be one of those things that goes to the moon. It'll be it'll go from if you ever look at like the price guides, they'll notate a key, and then sometimes they'll just do a run of books and then it doesn't really have a key. There's nothing special about it. It goes from that to now being kind of a key. That's about it. I don't expect this bump to last very long. It'll go down, but it'll settle around, I don't know, at some price, wherever it settles around, but it'll probably be lower than it is right now. Next, we got Spider-Man 2099, number 1. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara, I think. A 9.6 is up 18% from 62 to 73, and a 9.8 is up 66% from 135 to 224. Yeah, so this kind of had a perfect storm of things going on. Obviously, it was, I believe, is at the end of Spider-Verse #1, the movie, that they had a teaser for Spider-Man 2099. So it got that boosting it. And then obviously the comic boom happened, that went up, and it got really, really high. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was in like 380. It got as high as that, like one song for like 350, 380. And then it started coming down, and then obviously people knew the trailers come out, and they knew the Spider-Man 2099 was going to be in it, all that stuff. And then, it did pretty well, and it's definitely gone up recently, quite a bit, 66% in a couple of months. And most of it has been within the last couple of weeks because people have seen it. They really like the character, and obviously the character is going to be in the next one as well. And it's kind of a villain, but not really a villain, just a misunderstood villain, I guess. More of the good guy, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, do I see this book ever going back to its heights of, around $400? Not anytime soon. One of the issues with this book is it had a harder cover, which lends itself to be harder to damage. And it was also during the time when these books were printed in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, during that time. So there's just a lot of supply, and the supply that is out there is in pretty decent shape. So get yourself like a 9.9 or a 10.0. I don't know if there's a 10.0 exists, but I know there's a 9.9. Get yourself one of those. All right, next we got the Amazing Spider-Man number 10. This is the first appearance of SpiderPunk. A 9.6 is up 12% from 110 to 123. A 9.8 is up 48% from 170 to 252. So this has been kind of rumored that Spider-Punk has been coming out for a while. There's a couple of variant covers and things like that really popped off, and they've since cooled off. This, obviously, the character being likable in the movie lends itself to having, moving it along. But in the end, I don't even think Spider-Punk is going to show up in the next one. If he will, it'll just be a bit part, because I don't want to spoil the movie for people who haven't seen it. But anyways, I don't think Spider-Punk's going to be in the next one. So this will just be like an interesting book in Spider-Man mythos, but it's not going to be anything that I would hold my breath on, thinking like this is going to be the next big thing. This character at most will be popular now and for the next 5 years, and then just fade into obscurity like a million others. Like the next one on our list, Spiderman India. A 9.6 is up 1% from 99 to 100, and a 9.8 is up 53% from 238 to 365 at its peak. Looks like it's somewhere in like end of 2021. Sold for $1,000. And then it dropped, went back up a little bit, and this kept on going down, down, and then now it's selling for a little bit more than it used to. If you went back, this book came out in 2005, and this is where most of these characters will land. Something like Spider-Man India. Spider-Man India obviously came out, no one cared. I remember getting a Spider-Man collection in, and it probably had, I don't know, dozens of these in there, number ones, and it was worthless. It sold for a couple dollars. And if you went literally back, like a handful of years ago, back to 2020, this book was worth $20, $30, basically case cost in a 9.8. Now that the reason why I boosted up to 1,000 is two things. Now, why would a book that's normally like $28 go up to 1,000? Well, the thing was, it was so cheap, no one cared, and it just kind of fell along. It probably didn't have that much of a high print run, but it probably wasn't. No one cared about the book. Then all of a sudden, rumors come out that Spider-Man India is going to be in Spider-Verse 2, which I absolutely liked his character. His character was like really cool. It was probably one of the best ones in the new movie. Then all of a sudden, there's probably not that many 9.8s on the census, and a lot of times people think like, oh, not that many 9.8s on the census. Okay, that means it's rare. It's like, no, no one wants to grade it because it sells for $30. Why even take that? Someone asked me before, it's like, should I get X, Y, and Z graded? And I'm like, no. Look at what it goes for. $50, $60 is like, some people put them at like $70 as a buy now or something, or $80. But look what it really goes for. I'm just talking a random book, and it goes for anywhere in like $40, $50. That's case cost. So now you're going to send your book in and risk it coming back a 9.6 or 9.4, something else, and then it's worth like not even worth the case at all. So no, that's like throwing your money away. Most books shouldn't be graded, especially newer books. There's really no reason to grade a book. Unless you really want to grade it and it's for yourself, then do it. But if you're like to make money on it, it's like, no, there's certain books that you're just like, you're never really going to make any money on it because you grade it, it comes back not the grade you're hoping for. Now you just lost money on the grading fees. Now you're underwater in it. Or, you get that 9.8 and then it sits forever in your store. You're trying to make $50, $60 on it. Or you could just sell it raw for like $3, $4. So it's like, there's some books there's just no winning with, and that's what it is. I mean, that's what Spider-Man India was for a long time. Then it comes out and people are like, oh my gosh, this must be rare because I don't see that many of it. Probably because no one bothered to get it graded. So it goes for 1,000, then quickly starts jumping off a cliff, and it was petering around like the 230 mark for a 9.8, and then it's got a recent boost because of the movie. Do I think this book is going to go somewhere in the future? It will never hit $1,000 again. Like, the amount of stars that have to align for that to happen, it just won't. It just won't. There's certain books that just won't reach their ridiculous highs that they're at, and this is one of them. You have to think, it's not just coming out with a movie or a comic line or a cartoon or a TV show. It's doing that for decades. Being popular enough that for decades, you got a TV show, a movie, a comic book line that's successful, all that stuff. It has to do that same thing for decades. So most of these characters will just fade away. They'll be popular now, popular for the next 5, 10 years. Someone will, you'll have your Funko Pops and all that kind of stuff, and it'll be really cool. It'll be the cool thing, but then they'll fade away. Most of these characters will just fade away, and you never really will hear or see from them in a decade from now, other than just a cameo appearance in some comic books or maybe in like a cartoon or something like that, but they won't be the front and center. And the last on the list is Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, SpiderGwen. A 9.6 is up 19% from 547 to 650. A 9.8 is up 10% from 965 to 1059. Peaking around almost a little over 2,500, but it's been dropping ever since. And it's been a slow drop, though. It's not like really fast like some other ones. And it's got a slight boost recently, a 10% boost. So, like, what do I think about it? Do I think it's going to reach, like, SpiderGwen happens to be very popular in the comic books. And they'll, of all the characters I showed you on here, let me double check. Of all the characters that I've showed you on here, she has the best chance of ever making it. But even then, if you want to know kind of like the outcome of these characters, is just look at her graph, because she was in the first Spider-Verse and it peaked and then it just started going down and down and down and down, and it's had a little bump up recently. But I would expect this continue to drop more and more and more. I don't think it's going to be like in the future. I don't think this is going to fall back to what a typical modern book is, like $50 and a 9.8. That's never going to happen. This character is way too popular for that. But hitting back up to its highs of 2,500, that's a big, tall order, and it could happen. Like, I'm not ruling it out, but it's going to be a decade or more for something like that to happen, and it has to have a lot of things going right for it. And the book seems to be on the right track. Appearing in movies, they'll probably do a cartoon with her and all sorts of stuff, and she'll stick around for a while. So I could see that happening in its future. But if you ask me, will this be a $10,000 book in a decade? I'll say no way. You'll be lucky if it goes back up to like 2,500 to 3,000, right? That's unless something crazy happens in the economy that no one foresees, and and it can go either way. Crazy something, the whole thing collapses and all comic books, go down to nothing. Who knows? That'll be it. Have a great day.